Okay. All right. Okay. So let's continue with our lesson. Okay. Right. So today we will continue with our lesson. Okay. So today we will continue with chapter number 8, which is how to make planning. Okay. So part of management function is to make planning. Okay. So when you become a management, okay, so we already learned, okay, in the previous chapters. When you become a management, you have to make decision. Okay. When after you make the decision, you have to plan how to how to how to how to achieve how to conduct the decision that you already made. Okay, so we need to have a skill on how to make planning, in your management, in your management. Okay, so this is one of the core, one of the fundamental skill you need to have when you are working as a management. Okay, either you are supervisor, either you are uh, team leader, or you are the department manager, or maybe you are region manager, even the CEO. You need to have the skill on how to plan your action. Okay, so this is what we will cover in this chapter. Okay, so this is the learning objective for this chapter. Define nature and purpose of planning, classify type of plan organization of use, identify key contingency factor in planning, compare and contrast approach to objective setting, and discuss contemporary issue in planning. Okay, so this is the learning objective. So this is what this is what we will cover in this chapter. Okay. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand what is planning. Okay. Planning is a management function that involves setting goal, establishing strategy for achieving those goals, and developing plans to integrate and coordinate work activities. Okay, so planning is one of the function of management, one of the management function. The management function means that one of your responsibilities. Okay, so one of the responsibility of management is to make planning. Okay, because you are the one who will guide you are the one who will guide your employees. Okay, so you have to make planning for them. Okay, either you do it yourself, or maybe you get some input from your employees. That's okay, no problem. But you are the one who will do the planning. Okay, you cannot let your employees to do it for you. Okay, so even if you, let's say, you give the planning job to other people, you still have to you still have to you still have to you still have to take charges. Sorry, you still have to take charge. It means that you have to monitor their progress. You have to check their job, their work, and etc. Okay, because planning is your responsibility, not your employee's responsibility. Okay, yes, you can substitute, okay, you can give the job to your employees, but still the main responsibility is you. Okay, so you have to take responsibility. Okay, right. So it's a management function involves setting goal. Okay, so in planning, the first thing we do is we have to set the goal. Okay, so based on the decision that we make, okay, we already know what we want to do, so we make a goal. Okay, we make a goal, and then we create strategy how to achieve the goal strategy. Okay, and then from the strategy you expand the strategy, then you develop a plan. Okay, all right. Okay, so these are the three main thing in planning. First is setting the goal. Okay, and then the second one is establishing the strategy how to achieve the goal, and then from the strategy you develop your specific plan. Okay, so these are the three main things in planning. Okay, right. So for a good or formal planning, it must be specific and time-oriented goal. Okay, so for a good planner, they must set their goal very specific. Okay, so you already have your vision, right? You know what you want to do. Okay, so when you want to do the planning, your goal must reflect your vision. Okay, and then the goal must be very specific. For example, maybe you want to improve your sale. Okay, you make a vision that, for example, the problem is you want to increase your company sale. Okay, then you make decision. Okay, I want to engage with social media, for example. Okay, you want to use social media to boost your sale. Okay, so that's your decision. Okay, and then from the decision, now you make your planning. Your goal must be reflect your vision. Okay, so because your vision now you want to use the social media. Okay, so you have to create your goal. Okay, using the social media, but must be very specific. Okay, because maybe your vision is not specific yet. Okay, so your goal must be more specific. Okay, so now you know you want to use your social media. So what are the target when you use the social media? Maybe you want to set, you set the goal. Maybe you want to attract 1,000 new customer using social media. Okay, so now you see the changes, right? So from the vision, you want to use the social media. Now you have the goal which is to attract 1,000 new customer from social media. Okay, so the goal must be very specific. Okay, and then must be time oriented. Okay, you must integrate time frame in the goal. Okay, so you want to attract 1,000 customer, okay, from social media. Okay, within how many days, within how many months. Okay, maybe you want to set the time frame within 3 months. Okay, so this is your time frame. Okay, so your goal must be very specific and must be time oriented. Okay, and then the goal is written, and the goal must be written and shared. Okay, so you must write your goal so that everyone is aware what is the objective of your planning. What is the objective of you doing the job? Okay, because after you do the planning, you will execute your plans. Okay, so if people don't understand your goal, the aim you want to have, the aim you want to achieve from those action or from those tasks, then they will do just like they will do it based on their capabilities only. They don't have any. They will be aimlessly doing the job. They will aimlessly doing the job. Is that they don't have any specific target. Okay, maybe okay you pass your plan to your employee. Okay, you say okay now we want to get customer from social media. Okay, all right, you do the job. Okay, so you didn't say how many customer you want to attract. Okay, what is the time frame? Okay, so you didn't share the goal to your employee. So they also don't know. Okay, oh how many oh maybe 100. Oh, okay, maybe it's 100 only. Yeah, because you didn't clearly specify the goal, right? So people can make their own assumption. Oh, maybe you want maybe 10 maybe 10 only for maybe 10 only 10 only in 1 week maybe, right? So when your goal is not shared to your employees, it will become a confusing to them. So you have to you have to disseminate the information to your employees. Okay. Right. So this is how you want to how you how you how you want to make a formal planning. Okay? So the most important part in the planning is how you set up your goal. Okay? Because without the goal, your plan will not work. Okay? Because you make your plan based on your goal, based on your target. Okay? because it's different when you want to attract 1,000 customers from social media and compared to attracting 10 million customers from the social media. The plan is different. Okay, the plan is different. Okay, you need to do more things to attract more people. Okay, you have to do you have to you have to change the content of your social media will be different. Okay, because your target is different. Okay, so you have to understand that. So the planning can be failed if you did not give specific and time-oriented goal to the plan. That's why it's very important to have a very clear and time constrained goal, so that you can ensure that everyone understand what is their aim from the job that you give it you give it. Okay. Okay, so that is the basic of planning. Okay, so why we need to do planning? Why manager need to do planning? Okay, the first reason why manager need to do planning is to provide direction. Okay, right? Because managers are the one who leads the organization. Okay, you lead the organization. We need manager to lead the organization. So for those who lead people, they must know where you want to go. You must know where is the direction. Okay, so using the planning, you give direction to your employees. You give direction to your organization, where you want to go, where you want to achieve. Okay, so this is the first reason why managers and management need to do planning. Okay, and then the second reason is to reduce uncertainty. Okay, because when you have a specific plan, people will not sorry. Okay, so people will not getting people will understand. Okay, people will understand their direction, so they will not go wrong way. Okay, so we do the planning because we want to avoid that people maybe going sideways, or maybe going backwards, or maybe going anywhere than what we want to direct them. Okay, so by providing planning, okay, we can reduce this problem. We can reduce the uncertainty, okay? Because instead of didn't know where they want to go, now they have clear direction where they have to go. So it will reduce uncertainty from their mind. Okay, so they can clearly see where is the direction. Okay, so this is the second reason. Okay, and then the third one, minimize waste and redundancy. Okay, so when people clearly understand, okay, people clearly can see what is the direction, what is the aim, what is the goal that they have for from doing their job, then you can also reduce waste and redundancy resources. Okay, you can reduce your resources waste. Okay, because your employee will be unlikely to do wrong thing, okay, because you clearly give them direction. Okay, and then they also will not do the task twice. Okay, so you can reduce your resource waste and the job redundancy. Okay, all right. And then lastly, the reason why manager need to do the planning is because to establish the goal and standard for controlling. Okay, so because planning, okay, when we do planning, we have to set the goal. We have to set the aim, okay, where we want the plan. where we want the organization go and achieve. Okay, we want to we give the direction to the organization and also to the employee. Okay, so we can use the goals and the objective that we already set up in the plan to measure the performance of the organization and also to measure the performance of your employees. Okay, so these are the reason why manager need to do planning. Okay, in the organization, right? Okay, planning and performance. Formal planning is associated with positive financial result. Quality of planning or implementation is more important than the extent of it. Okay. External forces can reduce the impact of planning on performance. Planning performance relationship seem to be influenced by planning time frame. Okay. So this slide tells you about the relationship between planning and performance. Okay. So what happened to your performance if you make poor planning? What is the effect if you do good planning to your performance? Okay, so this is the relationship between planning and performance. Okay, all right. So the first relationship, okay, based on the study, okay, based on the research done, okay, we can see that formal planning is associated with positive financial result. Okay, so if you do a good planning for your organization, it can give you a positive financial result. Means that the performance of your organization will increase. Okay, but you have to remember the quality of planning or implementation is more important than the extent of it. Okay, so okay, sorry. All right. So how well your employee or your organization perform will be depend on how quality will be depend on the quality of your planning and the quality of your implementation of the planning. Okay, so the quality of your planning means that if your planning is if your plan is excellent, okay, it can boost your organization performance. It can boost the performance of your employees. But uh, if your plan is only maybe good enough, so you should expect that your performance also just good enough. Okay, so you cannot slack off on your planning and expect your organization can perform with flying colors. Okay, you cannot expect that if you do a slack job with your planning, you can achieve excellent result from those planning. Okay, it is impossible. Okay, so whatever planning you do, it will reflect back on your performance. If you do a good job, okay, if you do an excellent job in your planning, it will give you excellent performance. If you do just barely enough, if you do just barely enough planning, that your planning is okay lah, somewhat okay, then the performance also will be only somewhat okay, on only average. Okay, so you cannot expect you do a bad job in planning, then expect a great job in performance. No, it will not happen. Okay, it will reflect your performance will reflect back how well you plan your job. Okay. Okay, all right. But you have to remember there are some external factors that can reduce the impact of planning on performance. Okay, so sometimes even though you are doing a great job in planning your organization, planning what your employee will do, sometimes there are certain times that the result is not to what you expected. The result is below what you expected. Okay, so because there is some external factor that can reduce the impact of planning on the performance. You have to remember. Okay, so you have to remember, if you do an excellent job, sometimes you only get good, okay, you only get good performance. Then what happens if you just do an average job on your planning? Okay, it will drag down your your performance. Okay, so instead of getting good performance, instead of getting average performance, maybe your performance is worse. Okay, much lower than your level of expectation. Okay, so you have to understand. There are so many factors that can influence your performance. Okay, and one of that is planning. So planning is the key. If you have a good planning, you can expect good performance. Okay, but sometimes due to several factors and etc., the performance will drop a bit. Okay, but still maybe within your acceptance level. Okay, but if you do a bad job in planning, you should not expect that your performance will jump higher than your expectation. It will be lower than your expectation. You have to remember that. Alright? And then lastly, planning performance relationship seems to be influenced by planning time frame. Okay? Your time frame for your planning is one of the factors that can contribute to your performance level. Okay? So if you didn't give enough time to complete the job, you cannot expect that the result is amazing. Okay, so you must design your plan in appropriate time frame. Okay, you must give enough time to complete the job, but you didn't give longer time because people will slack off. Okay, so you must give just enough time to the plan so that people can strive to complete the job on time with the with enough time to get the performance level that you decided. Okay. Okay. So this is the relationship between planning and performance. Okay. So these are the two main components in planning. First is the goal. The second is the plan. Okay. So what is goal? So goal is the desired outcome or target. Okay. So goal is what you want to achieve from the plan. Okay. So anything that you want to achieve from the plan, that is what we call as goal or objective. Okay. And then the plan is the document that outline how goals are going to be met. Okay. So after we decide what is the goal, then we decide how we want to achieve the goal. We outline the step or the procedure to achieve the goal. Okay, so this is the two main components in planning. First, we need to have the goal, and then the second one, we need to have the plan. Okay. All right, and then there are many types of plan. For example, based on BRAS, so we have strategic and operational. Okay, and then based on time frame, we have long-term plan or short-term plan. Okay. Based on specificity, either it is directional or specific. Okay, and then based on frequency of use, either it is single-use plan or a standing plan or multiple-use plan. Okay, so these are the classification of plan in the organization. Okay, so these are the classification. What kind of plan you want to make? Okay, so based on the BRAS, okay, you can do either strategic or operational plan. Okay, and then based on time frame, either it is a long-term plan or short-term plan. So based on specificity, either it is a directional plan or specific plan, and then based on the frequency, either it is single-use plan or a standing or a repeated plan. Okay, so these are the classification of plan. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's be going one by one for every type of plan. Okay, so we have here, okay, under DRAS. Okay, so under DRAS category, we have two type of plan. Either it is strategic or operational plan. So what is strategic and operational plan? Strategic plan are the plan that apply to entire organization and establish the organization overall goal. Okay, and then for operational plan, it is a plan that encompasses a particular operational area of the organization. Okay, right. So a strategic plan is the plan for the whole organization. Okay, so in simple term, strategic plan is the plan for the whole organization, while operational plan is a plan for a specific department. Okay, for example, you have sales department operational plan. Okay, you have technical department operational plan. Okay, you have maybe logistic department operational plan. Okay, so it is specific to the certain area in the organization. Okay, so this is the difference. Strategic plan is the plan for the whole organization. Operational plan is the plan for specific area in the organization. Okay, and then we have a long-term and short-term plan. Okay, so long-term plan is a plan with time frame beyond 3 years. Okay, and then short-term plan covering 1 year or less. Okay, so the difference between long-term and short-term. So which one? How we can identify the plan is long-term or short-term plan? We look at the time frame. If the time frame is more than 3 years, we classify the plan as a long-term plan. More than 3 years. Okay, more than 3 years, we consider it as long-term plan. Okay, and now we have the short-term plan. Short-term plan is 1 year or less. Maybe 6 months, maybe 2 months, maybe 1 year. Okay, 1 year plan is still considered as short-term plan. Okay, above 1 year, but below 3 years, we call it as mid-term plan. So in between of long-term and short-term year, we call it as mid-term plan. Okay, so this is how we classify short-term, long-term, short-term plan, long-term plan, and mid-term plan. If more than 3 years, it is long-term plan. Less than 1 year, it is short-term plan. Okay, and then specific and directional plan. So specific plan is the plan that are clearly defined and leave no room for interpretation. And then directional plan is the plan that are flexible and set out general guideline. Okay, right? So specific is where the plan already outlined all the steps you need to take. Okay, so there are no room for negotiation. There are no room for you to make changes. Okay, they already stated what you should do, what you should do. It's like a product. What you call it? It's not product guideline. It's not product specification. It's like a product. What you call it? I forgot the name. Product operation procedure. Okay, it's like an operation procedure. Okay, for example, you buy a new machine, right? With the machine, usually they will come with some documentation. Okay, and one of the documentation is about how you want to operate the machine. Okay, in the document, they will specify what is the step you should take to run the machine. Okay, so specific plan is like that. Okay, it's very specific. They already outline everything that you need to do to complete the plan. That is what we call as specific plan. Okay, and then for directional plan, it's more on like a guideline. Okay, they give you a general direction. Okay, and then there are some part that you can make your own decision or you can make your own choice. how you want to run the, how you want to do the, how you want to do the those steps. Okay, so directional guideline is more like a general guideline. Okay? So it's very flexible. Okay, so this is the difference between specific and directional plan. Specific is clearly defined plan. Directional is a flexible plan. Okay, where you can make your own interpretation how to do the step. Okay. Okay. All right. So this figure show you the difference between specific and directional. Okay. So specific. Okay. For example, you want to go from point A and point B. For specific plan, they give you, okay, you have to turn here, you have to turn right, and then you have to turn left, turn right, okay, and then go straight, okay, and then turn right, okay, and then you will reach your destination. So this is specific plan. Okay, they give you step by step how to complete the plan. Okay, but for directional, they only give you the direction. For example, okay, they said, okay, you have to go from A to B. Okay, all right. So the distance from A to B is what? Okay, the direction of A to B is Y. Okay, what are the how you can reach there? Okay, you can use car, you can walking, you can take public transport and etc. Okay, so they just give you direction how you want to go there. They didn't give you step by step how you can achieve the goal. Okay, so this is the difference between specific and directional. Okay, right. Okay, and then lastly is the frequency of the plan. Either in a single use plan, okay, or in this standing plan. Okay, so single use time as a single use plan is one time plan specifically designed to meet the need of unique situation. Okay, so the plan is only one time only. Okay, because you want to tackle a very specific situation. Okay, and then standing plan is the ongoing plan that provide guidance for activities performed repeatedly. Okay, so standing plan or frequent, okay, standing plan is the plan that we can reuse we can reuse the plan, okay, multiple times to solve the same problem. That is what we call as standing plan. Okay, so that is about the type of planning. Okay, so when we do the planning, we have to uh, we have to we have to take note on something unexpected happen during when we execute the plan. Okay, so we need to we need to uh, we need to uh, we need to not take note. We need to we need to factoring in. Okay, we need to uh, apa? We need to what is the word? I forgot the word. Okay, we need to take into consideration, okay, the contingency factor, okay, in our planning. Okay, so contingency factor is the extra precaution step that we take, okay, in order to encounter any problem when we run the plan. Okay, right. So because you have to remember every plan, okay, when we execute the plan, the scenario or the environment that we envision might not be the same. Okay, the environment that we predict when we run the plan, okay, will not be the same as what we envision in our plan. Okay, so there will be some deviation. Okay, so to counter the deviation happen when we run the test and when we run the plan, so we need to have contingency. We need to have the contingency factors. Okay. Okay, so there are three factors that can affect planning. Okay, first is level in the organization, degree of environmental uncertainty, and length of future commitment. Okay, so these three factor, okay, so these three factor can influence how well you can implement your planning. Okay, so you have to remember that when you do the planning, you have to remember these three factors. Okay, because these three factors will play their role when you start to implement when you start to implement your plan. Okay, so they will give some impact to your planning. Okay, so your planning maybe cannot reach the goal, or maybe your plan will help. Okay, will help somewhere. Okay, you have to stop your plan because you encounter some unexpected situation. Okay, so when you do the planning, you have to consider these three factors. Okay, because these three factors will determine. Okay, sorry, these three factor will give impact to your planning. Okay, how well you can execute your planning. Okay. All right. So let's we go one by one. Okay, the factors. Okay, so the first factor is the level of the hierarchy. Okay, so this figure show you. Okay, this figure show you. Okay, the relationship between the level of management and the type of planning that they do. Okay, for top executive. Okay, most of the time they will do the strategic planning. Okay, they make plan for the whole organization. They don't care about the specific area in the organization. What they care in the top management, they only care about the direction of the organization. They don't care about the direction of specific area, etc. Okay, what they want to know, what we want to see is the direction of the organization. That's why on the top management, they more on the strategic planning. Okay, and then sometimes they also more on they are also make plan more on the long term plan. Okay, because they want to see the projection of the company, maybe 5 years or 10 years in 10 years future lah. Okay, all right, and then you can see as we go down as we go down the management level. Okay, okay, for middle level manager and first level manager, they are more on the operational planning. Okay, they more on the operational planning, how they want to plan for their own team or for their own department. Okay, right. So middle level manager, they have to do both. Why? Because they have to integrate. Okay, so middle level manager is like a middleman between the top management and the first line manager. Okay, because they have to integrate from the strategic planning from the top. Okay, they have to integrate into their operational planning, and then they will pass the planning to the first level manager. Then the first level manager will have to make planning for a very specific team. Maybe for their team members or for their own unit. Okay, so these are the variation. Okay, the variation from the due to the level of the management. Okay, so different level of management, they will have different type of planning. Okay. Sorry. Okay, guys, let's take a short break, maybe 1 minute break. Okay, and then we will continue back around 4:10. Okay. Okay, let's take a short break before we continue, right? Let's continue our lesson, guys. Okay. So that okay. Okay. So that is the first contingency factor, which is the level of management, the level in the organization, level of management. Okay, so top level they focus on different type of planning, which is strategic planning. While for the lower level management, they focus on operational planning. Okay, and then for the second factor, degree of environmental uncertainty. So how well you predict your environment. Okay. So if your environment is very predicted, maybe you can give okay you can use a specific plan because you know what will happen in the planning. But if your environment is very uncertain, you didn't know what will happen in the future. Okay? So we will focus on more on the directional. Okay? We give a general guideline okay? Because we don't know what will happen in the future. Okay? And then okay, so this is the degree of environmental uncertainty, and then length of future commitment. Okay, so length of future commitment means that what is the impact? Okay, so lack of future commitment, we're talking about the what will happen, what we can predict, what we can predict, okay, what we can predict will happen in the future. Okay, so for example, okay, let's say you, okay, so if your current plan, the one that you want to do the plan, okay, the plan that you want to design, okay, you expect that it will give big impact to your organization. Okay, so we can try to make the time frame longer. Why? Because you want to give some time for the changes to happen in your organization. Okay? So for the last again the third factor, the third contingency factor here, okay, the bigger the impact of your plan, the longer the plan should be. Okay, so this is the rule of thumb lah. Okay, so this is the general guideline. If you expect that your plan will give huge impact to your organization, you should prolong the plan so that you can give enough time for your organization to adapt to the changes. Okay, right. So that is the three factors okay, that will influence how well how well you can execute your plan. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the main factor. Okay, the main component in the plan, which is objective and goal. Okay, so objective and goal, they are interchangeable and they represent the same thing. Okay, so you can use either objective or you can also use goal or you can also use target. Any word you can use. Okay? Any synonym words you can use. Okay, as long as it represents the same thing, which is the desired outcome you want to have after you execute the plan. Okay, so here, okay, so the objective, okay, the definition of objective is desired outcome for individual, group, or entire organization. So what is the goal is what you want to have, what you want to get after you run the plan. Okay, so objective and goal provide management with direction and serve as a mean to measure progress. Okay, so without goal and objective, you will not know where you want to go. That's why it is clearly stated in the earliest slide, right? You need to have a clear. You need to have a specific. Okay, you need to have a specific objective. Why? Because when you specify your objective, your direction will become clear. Okay, so this is the reason why we need to have a specific objective, because we want to have a clear direction Okay, for example, compare these two objectives. Okay, the first objective is to increase the number of customer. Okay, and then the second objective is to add 1,000 new customer. Which one is more directional? Okay, so which one is more directional? Of course, it is 1,000 customer. Because why? Because you know the numbers. Okay, so numbers can represent the direction. Okay, so you know what is your target. Because so you clearly can see. Okay, oh, so I want to have 1,000 customer. Instead of you just state, okay, we want to increase the number of customer. How much? Okay, is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? Is it a million? Okay, because every different numbers, you have to design your plan differently. Okay, all right. So when you don't have specific objective, okay, while designing your plan, okay, your plan maybe cannot achieve what you want to have. Okay, maybe maybe you just said, okay, I want to increase the number my customer. Okay, you stated that is your objective. Okay, but actually in your mind you already imagine how many you want to have. Okay, maybe okay, I want to have 1 million new customer. Okay, you imagine. But the problem is you didn't specify the objective. You just imagine the number. People cannot see what you imagine, what you thinking. That's why we need to specify the objective so that people can understand your thinking. Okay, so you cannot just think and you cannot just imagine in your mind and thinking that people can see what you're thinking. It is impossible. Okay, so that's why we need to specify our objective, and the best you write it and give to others so that people can see the objective. Okay, so without a proper objective, you will not have a direction. You will lose in trying to achieve your goal. Okay, because you don't know the right way to achieve your goal. Okay, because you also don't know where you want to go. Okay, it's like you are using a Waze and you don't know where you want to go, and then you ask Waze, okay, Waze, take me anywhere. Okay, so the Waze also don't know where you want to go. Okay, if the Waze give you wrong destination, okay, you will feel upset. You will feel you will think that the Waze is not functional for you. Okay, but the problem is because you didn't give clear direction to the Waze, how they want to do their job properly. Okay, so this is similar. Okay, when you do a planning, if you didn't give clear direction to your employee, how you can expect that they will do their job properly? Okay, so it's a similar situation. Okay, all right. Okay, and then the second function of objective is to act as a guideline to measure progress. Okay, so for example, you want to achieve 1,000 new customer, right? Okay, so you already know the numbers. Okay, you can measure. Okay, maybe today you get 10 new customer, tomorrow you get 15 new customer. Okay, and then the next day you get 3 new customer. Okay, and then the next day you get only 1 new customer. Okay, if you total up, you can see the progress on how to, okay, you can see the progress on achieving your goal. Okay, but if you didn't specify your goal, okay, maybe you just said, I want to I want to get new customer. Okay, you don't know how to measure the progress. Okay, because you don't have clear direction. Okay, you just specify you need new customer. How much? Okay, so you have to clearly specify because it is easier for you to monitor your progress. Okay. Okay, so there are two types of objective. First is stated objective. Stated objective is the official statement of what the organization wants the public to believe. Okay, so stated objective is your statement. Okay, you give statement. It means that you are written or you said to the public. And then we have what we call as real objective, the objective that the organization actually pursues. Okay, so some organization they don't want to reveal their real objective. Why? Because for them it is a trade secret. Okay, they don't want their competitor to know what they try to achieve. Okay, they want to avoid their competitor for knowing what they want to achieve. So they deceive the public. So whatever they stated in the public, their objective, actually maybe it's not different, but slightly altered so that people cannot see their true target. Okay, all right. So these are the two objectives, okay, in the organization. Okay, so how to set up your objective? Okay. Oh. So how to set up your objective? Okay. So we have one approach here, one technique. We call it as traditional objective setting. Okay. So what is traditional objective setting? Is the approach to setting objective in which top managers set objective that then flow down through the organization and become sub goal for each organizational area. Okay. So the first technique to set your objective for your organization is you set the objective from top to bottom. It means that your top management, okay, create their own strategic goal, okay, and then going down to the lower level, then the lower level will modify, will create new goals to achieve the the strategic goal. Okay, this is the traditional way. Okay, the main goal come from the top management. Okay, and then on the lower level, they will set up a different goal. That the goal is, okay, the real objective of the goal is to achieve the main goal. Okay, so they create smaller goal so that if you achieve the smaller goal, you can achieve their main goal. Okay, so these are the traditional objective setting. Okay, this is how company usually set up their goal. Okay. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, so from the top management, they give objective. The objective is we need to improve the company performance. Okay, and then going down, you can see the division manager objective. He want to see significant improvement in division profit. Okay, because the strategic goal, okay, usually is very flexible. It's not specific. Okay, so it will depend on the middle level manager to interpret the goal. Okay, so here you see, so the division manager interpret that the company performance that top management want is about the profit of the division. Okay, and then going down to the next level, which is department manager objective. Now the department manager objective is to increase profit regardless of the mean. Okay, right? And then going to the last level, which is the employee. So the employee objective is don't worry about the quality, just work fast because they want to increase the productivity. So increase the productivity will increase the profit. Okay, so this is how the goal in the organization is set up using traditional objective setting. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, so that is the the traditional way how we set up the goal in the organization. Okay, and then we have another type of technique. We call it as management by objective. Okay, so what is management by objective? It is a process of setting mutually agreed goal and using this goal to evaluate employee performance. Okay, so instead of the objective or the goal coming from the top management, management by objective, it comes from the employee. Okay, so you have to meet with the employee, ask them what is the current status, okay, what they expect for the future and etc. Then you agree on what is the objective for the specific employees. Okay, and then you design their KPI or their performance. Okay, you design their performance evaluation based on the objective you already agreed with the employee. So this is what we call as management by objective. So, so management by objective or MBO involves setting objective that cascade down through organization that are translated into operational objective of at each level. Okay, so let's look at how it will happen. Okay, so this is how it looks like in the management based objective. Okay, so we have the overall organization objective. This one is created by the top management. Okay, and then based on this one, the division objective, okay, the division manager, they will create their own objective. Okay, so they will talk with the top management. They decide, okay, this is the objective that they will decide, that they will design. Okay, and then department manager also will talk with the division manager, and then they will agree what kind of objective they want to achieve. Okay, and then lastly, on the employee level, okay, they also will they also will communicate with the department manager, okay, and then they will decide what kind of objective they want to achieve. Okay, so but okay, so the objective on the employee level must come to the objective that's set by the top management. You have to remember that whatever you set up for your employees, okay, it must reflect back whatever objective set up by the top management. Okay. Okay. So this is the management by objective. Okay, so it's different. Why is different? Because now instead of just giving direction, you communicate and negotiate. Okay, so management by objective or MBO, they introduce negotiation process in the objective setting. Okay, so in the traditional way, you just receive whatever your boss give. Okay, but in MBO, you negotiate with the boss. Okay, so your boss have their own objective. Okay, so you negotiate with the boss. This is how you can help to achieve the goal. How you can help to achieve the objective of your boss. Okay, so you negotiate. Okay, so then based on the negotiation, your boss will set your own your own performance objective based on the agreement, based on whatever you agreed with your boss. Okay, so that is MBO. Alright. Okay, so these are the two technique you can use. Either you can use a traditional where you just receive orders from the top management, or you can use MBO or management by objective where you can negotiate with your management to set your own objective. Okay. All right. How can manager plan effectively in dynamic environment? Okay. In reality, our environment is very dynamic. Okay, it's not static. Means that it's not stay in the same condition. Okay, it always changing. It always changing. And sometimes the changing is unpredictable. So how to make plan effectively in this unchanging environment? So there are several suggestions when you are dealing with dynamic environment or uh, ever-changing environment. Okay, so there is some advice on how you can make your how you can design your planning, okay, in a dynamic environment. First one is develop plan that are specific but flexible. Okay, you have to design your plan so that there are some gap. Okay, there are some space. Okay, you can use. Okay, maybe okay means that there are some section that are general. Okay, you didn't give specific instruction. Okay, so that if something happen, you can use this general instruction so that you can make some changes to your plan. Okay, so you must create a specific plan, but there are some flexibility. Okay, there are some flexibility in the plan. Okay, so you must keep your plan flexible. Okay, not all, but maybe little. A bit of a part of the plan must be a bit flexible so that you can make some changes if you encounter some new, okay, if you encounter unexpected changes in your environment. Okay, and then keep planning even when the environment is uncertain. Okay, so don't let the changing in the environment, okay, discourage you from make your plan. Okay, you have to make plan for your organization. Okay, so that you have a direction. So even though the environment is very unstable, you still have to do your plan. Okay, you have to create a flexible plan. If let's say you are in a very unstable environment, so you have to ensure that your plan also is very flexible so that you can make changes if something happen. Okay, and then you can also allow lower organizational level to set goal and develop plan. Okay, so you also can get feedback from the lower level, okay, from the lower management level or even your employees, okay, because they are the one who deals with the plan, so they know better than the top management. So try to involve your employees and your lower level manager, get their input so that you can make a better plan in the ever changing environment. Okay. Ah, okay, so that is the suggestion. If you encounter with uh dynamic environment where the environment is frequently changing. Okay, so there is a technique. There is a technique for you to use if your environment is very unstable. Okay, it's changing frequently. Okay, we call it as environmental scanning. Okay, so what is environmental scanning? So environmental scanning is a environmental scanning is a screening information to detect emerging trend. Okay, so we can use environmental scanning to check, okay, to see the what is the future trend, okay, the future trend of your environment. Okay, so even though your environment is always changing, there are some trend. Okay, so if you carefully analyze your environment, you can see there is some trend. Okay, so this trend, you can use this trend to predict your environment. Okay, maybe not 100%, maybe 80%. Your prediction can go right. Okay, so you can use what we call as environmental scanning to check what is the upcoming trend in your environment. Okay, and then you can also use what we call as competitive intelligence. Okay, so competitive intelligence is part of environmental scanning. Okay, so this is one of the tools under environmental scanning. So what is competitive intelligence? Is gathering information about competitors that allow manager to anticipate their action rather than merely react to them. Okay, so competitive intelligence is part of environmental scanning. Okay, so what is competitive intelligence? Is you spy on your competitors. Okay, you want to know what they do, what is their next move. Okay, so why we need this information? Because we want to know, we want to know what is they doing. Okay, and then how you can counter their action before it happens. Okay, so maybe for example, maybe your competitor are developing new technologies for their next product. Okay, maybe you didn't get all the information. Okay, but you get get that there are some R&D happen in your competitors. Okay, to develop new product. Okay, so you can prepare. Okay, if you know about the information, then you can prepare. Okay, so you can prepare. You can also do your own R&D. Maybe your product maybe maybe your product the technology, okay, is different than your competitor, but at least you have some edge. Okay, you have some means to fight with your competitors. Okay, so to help you in the changing, okay, in a very fast changing environment, you can use environmental scanning. Okay, you can use environmental scanning. Okay, and then one of the tool under environmental scanning is competitive intelligence, where you gather information. Okay, you gather information about your competitors. Okay, right. So in changing global business environment, environmental scanning and obtaining competitive intelligence can be quite complex, especially since information must be gathered from around the world. However, one thing manager could do is subscribe to news service that review newspaper and magazine from around the globe and provide summaries to client companies. Okay, so in the globalization world we have right now, okay, to gather information about your competitor sometimes is quite challenging. Okay, maybe because your competitor is not in your country, is from the other country. Okay, so it's not easy to get news about them. Okay, but you can try to gather the data using the news feed. Okay, you can subscribe to the news feed or global news feed so that you can at least get some idea what they are doing. Okay, so it's become more challenging to nowadays to do environmental scanning and competitive intelligence. Okay, but you should try to do it because this is one of the technique you can use to encounter your environment. Okay, so these are the thing that you want to gather when you do environmental scanning. For example, you want to know about political issues. Okay, you want to know about economic issues, you want to know about social issues, or you want to know about technological issues. Okay, this one is more on the general environment. Okay, so where you can get it? Okay, you can get it from, for example, political, you can get it from the political representative or lobbyists. Okay, economic, you can get it from the financial news. Okay, or Fed minutes. Okay, the news from the federal bank. Okay, and then social information, you can get it from the social media. Okay, and then technology, you can get it from the patent office. You can get patent report from them. Okay, and then we have specific information. For example, industry. Okay, you can get it from the business media or industry association. Competitors, you can get from their own website, or you can also get it from other company in the industry. The suppliers, you can get it from the vendors, and again, and the customer, you can do survey, or you can also do focus group interview. Okay. Oh. Okay, guys, let's take a short break. We will continue back around 4:45. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, right. All right. So nowadays we can see that, okay, because of the digitalization, because of the digitalization process, okay, in our society, we can see that there are more and more digital tools that we can use in the business world to gather information. Okay, so here we list down 3 tools you can use to make more to gather more information about your environment. First is we can use what we call as business intelligence data that manager can use to make more effective strategic decision. Okay. So business intelligence you can, okay, or we call it now is a BI, okay, business intelligence. Okay. So this is one of the tools. Okay, you gather data, okay, usually is a quantitative data, means that the numbers, okay, we gather numbers in the from the website, from the digital places, website, from maybe from social media, maybe from the messaging apps and etc. Okay, we gather this data, okay, and then we use uh, software to interpret the data. Okay, so this data can be used to make better strategic decision. Okay, so you can use business intelligence to gather more information about your environment so that you can make better strategic decision for your organization. And then we can also use digital tool, okay, any technology, system or software that allow the user to collect, visualize, understand and analyze data. Okay, so the software that we use to process business intelligence data. So this is one of the digital tool that you can use. Okay, so there are so many digital tools. Okay, there are so many digital tools. For example, the basic one is Excel. Okay, the basic one is Excel, and then we have what we call it big data. Okay, we have big data, and then we have it's not it's the language. We have what we call is Apache. I forgot again. Okay. I forgot again. Okay. So there is one of the big data program. Okay. So so many software you can use. Okay. You can use Excel. The basic one is Excel, and then you can use Google spreadsheet, or you can also use apa you can use database software, you can use a big data software, so many software you can use to collect, visualize and analyze the data. Okay, and then we also have social media, for example Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, okay, and other social media sites are becoming increasingly important to to extract competitive intelligence. So you can check what is the activity of your competitors. You can use it. Okay, you can use social media nowadays to spy on your competitors, what they are doing. Okay. Okay. So virtual reality. Virtual reality is another digital tool that you can use to help us scanning the environment. Okay. So what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a three-dimensional interactive computer generated experience that occur within a simulated environment. Okay, so virtual reality can be used can be used in application including interviewing job candidate, virtual meeting, complex job training, and previewing office or plan layout. Okay, so virtual reality is becoming more and more important in our daily life. Okay, because we can incorporate so many things. Okay, using virtual reality. Okay, so we can preview. For example, for example, you want to meet somebody. Okay, so you can meet somebody using virtual reality. So you meet in the in the in the digital world. Okay, so you meet the person one by one in the digital world. Okay, so instead of only getting their pictures or maybe sorry, instead of getting their videos and their sound, okay, so now you can also engage. Okay, maybe you can ask you can ask your candidate how to show their skills. Okay, right? So you can see it through the virtual reality technology. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's all for chapter.